Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello, hello.
TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
This week, we'll talk about the Israelis, citizens that were able to stop the humanitarian aid to going into Gaza this week. And now we know that out of the about 12,000 UN UNRWA workers in Gaza, over 9,000 of them work with Hamas. But first, let's say thank you. Thank you guys so much. It is amazing. It is such a great thing to be a part of what you guys are doing here in the state of Israel, feeding these precious people, especially at a time of need after this war and the horrible atrocities that was committed against this nation. And you guys are helping to not only lower the statistics of kids that go to bed hungry every day here in the state of Israel, but you're also helping by giving moral support and witnessing to these wonderful people who just need it so bad right now by this horrible, evil acts that has happened to them. So thank you guys so much. It's just so unbelievably blessed to be a part of this. If you haven't yet, you want to be a part of this ministry, all you have to do is go to the links below this any of these videos, and there's links to the Patreon page or to the Golden Report Support Us page. Or you just go to the goldenreport.com and go to the Support Us page there and find whichever way is easiest for you. Also, the Ola's Telegram is while you're down there looking at the links, or the Telegram Ola gives you the news up to date every second as it happens in the state of Israel. You can go ahead and hook on that link too and get hooked up to getting the news of Israel right on time, every time, as soon as it happens. So God bless all of you for the help you guys are doing here in Israel. And thank you so much. Let's get started.
Yeah, let's do it. At the beginning of the week, Prime Minister Netanyahu addressed the nation to say that we are still working on getting all the hostages home. We need to come to the negotiation table from a position of strength and not weakness. This is why it is important to continue hitting them hard while making rescue missions.
Absolutely.
Rescue missions.
Like last week we talked about.
Yes.
Yeah, if you can get Hamas seeing that we're not backing up and you're continually being attacked and we're even getting our hostages out without any deals with them, of course, you come to the table with that, they'll be much quicker to give in to your demands. Absolutely, because right now still the Hamas has insane demands of trying to stop this war.
Yeah, they say first, before we even start negotiation, we have to stop the aggression, how they call it, the war towards the Palestinian people, Hamas basically, and withdraw all the military from Gaza. And also the last demand was to stop the Jewish entrance in the mountain,
the Temple Mount.
The Temple Mount.
It's always connected to the Temple Mount. We should go ahead and knock that thing down, that Al-Aqsa Mosque, and go ahead and just get it over with.
Yeah, so it's ridiculous demands. We cannot, even address that.
Yeah. Also, we began to see how many UNRWA workers, including UNRWA social workers that are supposed to be, helping people, that kidnapped dead Jews from the Be'eri kibbutz to take back into Gaza for Hamas. This is just one story. We have proof of at least 30 UNRWA workers and many, many more, actually. But 30 workers was at the beginning of the week when we just started realizing how many all the proof started coming out from the UNRWA headquarters. But now we know it's insane numbers that took part in the 7th of October in killing and torturing Jews, including kidnapping them and even keeping the Jewish hostages in their own homes in Gaza. Like I said at the beginning, out of 12,000 UNRWA workers, over 9,000 of them are connected somehow to Hamas.
Yeah, I want you to let it sink for a second. UN facility. That you pay for it, by the way, guys.
Yeah, America pays for most everything. America pays for in the UN.
For the refugees that never solve even one refugee problem through 75 years.
Right.
What they did, the workers, they actually kidnapped, raped, killed.
The UNRWA UN workers.
It's
and with
unbelievable.
proof we have. We're not just saying it now. We always knew it.
Yes,
that
yes,
UN was against us.
yes.
But now you have proof that they're basically Hamas. They're the same as Hamas. They're
Yeah.
Hamas, just like Hamas, right?
Yeah.
Well, on Sunday, during the searching of intel in the Nezer hospital in Khan Yunis, the IDF soldiers found all the medicines that were given to good faith to Hamas in order to give to our hostages that are in need of medical attention. They even found that the medicine boxes had the names partially ripped off, trying to hide that these maybe were the meds for the Jewish hostages. You know, this is, I mean, once again, we didn't expect much anything else, but when you find the proof of it, you know.
Yeah. And just a few hours after that, after we showed this video, actually the it started with Qatar. Qatar said, we actually see proof that some of the medicine went to hostages. And then friends, later after we posted the video, friends say, Qatar gave us some proof that some of the drugs go to the hostages. So it all started with us proving that they didn't go to the hostages, and then now they started saying, "Oh, we will show you. We'll have some proof." Well, Israel never seen this kind of proof yet.
Yeah.
So
we don't even still know how many hostages are still alive. We don't know anything. So how could they even try to prove that the hostages have had any kind of medical attention? We don't even know how many are alive. We don't know nothing about what's going on. They don't give us nothing.
Yeah, Qatar is just embarrassed because they never they promised and they didn't actually follow their promise. And France is embarrassed because they paid for all these drugs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, the Biden administration has said now that they are planning on recognizing a Palestinian state after the war is over. Prime Minister Netanyahu, by the way, they also said they're going to recognize a Palestinian currency as well. Prime Minister Netanyahu said that the U.S. doesn't understand that this would be the largest prize that terrorists ever got. The problem is that the Biden administration understands exactly what they're doing and how it is a direct threat to the existence of the state of Israel. You know, but Prime Minister Netanyahu had to publicly say, you know, I don't think you understand. This is a horrible thing. You're giving a big prize to the terrorists who did what they did on October 7th. They come in, they attacked us, they kill us, they rape us, they do all these horrible things. And then what do? You give them what they want. That's a prize. That's a saying, good job, guys. Do it next time to get what you want. You can't do that. You know?
No.
But Netanyahu acts like maybe he had to explain it to the Biden administration in a way that maybe they just didn't understand what they were doing. But they understood exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Netanyahu went farther and even made a new, it's kind of law statement. It's a law, but only because they want to state a statement that 99 Knesset members agreed and signed for. From 120, 99 is a lot.
Usually doesn't
like consensus,
in a Jewish Knesset.
Against the forcible Palestinian statements against us.
No foreign country can decide what happens in our country. Basically, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Right? Yeah. Near a kindergarten, an armed drone from Lebanon exploded, not injuring anyone, thank God. Israel answered back by exploding a warehouse full of weapons and military equipment that was meant to be used against us in the future. This was a large explosion because of the second detonation of all the explosives that was stored in this facility.
Yes.
This is not the first time.
It continued burning for days.
Yes.
Yeah, it was huge.
Which, lately, when we explode warehouses with weapons, for some reason, Hezbollah denies that there were weapons.
Yeah, but when you see this explosion and the stuff that you could tell. You could tell this. You could tell because when a bomb goes off, like a missile goes off, and boom, it blows a building up. But when it goes in, boom, blows the building up, and then boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
You realize, okay, there was something in there.
Yeah.
So you can't lie, so you can see it.
Yeah.
Well, on Tuesday, Sinwar, the head of Hamas in Gaza, finally was back in contact with the soldiers and the outside contacts that he uses to get the messages to us, to the state of Israel. This raises the question of where was he all this time, and what was his condition, and what was he doing? We know that Hamas, in the days before the return of Sinwar's being back from incognito, the Hamas was working towards figuring out exactly who will be the one that takes his place and is the new leader of Hamas in Gaza. So we know they were doing that because they were also out of contact with the guy. They didn't know what was going on. So it's interesting. Hopefully, maybe one day, it's nothing more than really just interesting because at the end of the day, I believe we'll end up getting him, and he'll probably be dead, and it don't matter where he was during that. But it's interesting, to see that how he disappeared and come back. And
Yeah. Well, the only thing that we know for sure is that he's on the run.
Yeah.
We know he's on the run. He's scared for his life now, I think. The evil that is called the UN, we talked about UN before, tried to take in legal procedures to make Israel stop the war against the evil called Hamas. Thank the Lord that our friend, the best friend in UN, the USA, put a veto, ruling and putting a stop to the evil called the UN from taking legal action against Israel, when he would not have been able to stop the war on their request. We just can't.
Yeah, we would not be able to stop the war on their request, and then that would give legal procedures going into different kinds of sanctions, not allowing us to, it would cripple our economy, do a lot of harm to the state of Israel because we are a westernized country, and sanctions would actually very hurt us. Not like Russia with all the sanctions; they could care less because they're so blocked off and their economy is so bad anyway. It doesn't make a difference. Yeah. But our economy is connected to the world economy, like all westernized countries, and any kind of sanctions against us would really do some damage. So America really saved our behinds, as they, excuse my French, but as they say, because if they would have went ahead and had that ruling passed, it could have been bad news for us.
You know what else the evil called UN did this week? In Israel, we posted just a few days ago very detailed report about sexual abuse. A new one. Yeah. I know we had it before, but now it's very, very detailed. It came from testimonials. It came from forensic evidence. Unfortunately, most of the victims are dead. They've been killed during or after the sexual assault. Yeah. But now we have a lot of evidence, and it's a big report. So just a day after Israel published this report, the UN published their report that IDF soldiers raping and sexually abusing Palestinian women.
Yeah, well, there's no way this. We talked about that. It's no way. Nonsense. Israeli soldiers are not anywhere close to female Palestinians in the battlefield. It's just they're not there. It's not any kind of closeness. And I know exactly. Not all of it, but I know a lot of what happened with the terrorists in Gaza. I saw a lot of it personally. I saw it all.
Yeah.
Well, we had many terrorist attacks this week, but the worst one was on Thursday morning during heavy traffic when the cars are bumper to bumper and they're not even moving. 3 terrorists were in the same traffic jam. At the moment they thought they could do the most damage, they got out of their car and began to shoot up and down, walking through the cars and shooting. 13 were injured, including serious life-threatening injuries, and 1 was killed. This was on the main highway between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, Highway 1, which we call, near the entrance to Jerusalem. They even shot a pregnant lady, and it was a horrible one. I mean, like we said, there's many of them this week, as there is every week. But instead of just going through them all, there's other things to talk about, which is insane to say that. But
yeah. Well, Jewish protesters, including mothers of the IDF fighters in Gaza, hostage families, and the reservists that went out of Gaza, like Joe, but he didn't participate this week. And so they were successful in stopping the trucks full of humanitarian aid to go into Gaza on Thursday. They protest every day for the last 2 weeks, but only on Thursday, finally, they made it to the point that 0 trucks goes to Hamas. We know they all goes to Hamas, right?
Yeah, we are.
So it's humanitarian aid to Hamas. And they were successfully finally stopped it. I'm so proud.
Yeah, it was good. What's most important, they need to get the agenda out, which is very simple. It's not like we know that all this humanitarian aid goes to Gaza. We know that we've yet to see the sorry to say, but the truth is we've yet to see the innocent bystander in Gaza, these civilians. Every house I personally went in and every house the IDF went in, we see Hamas supporting weapons, paperwork, literature, everything, every single house, okay? We see how the civilians help and support Hamas all there throughout even the horrible things they did to the Jewish people. So even though we know that the humanitarian aid is going to Hamas, we can't say we don't want to give humanitarian aid to the civilians. So we actually do want to help the civilians who are in the streets living in tents and stuff. But the only thing they're really trying to prove is let's prove and stop the torturing of our people, the hostages in Gaza. They're not even saying let the people out of Gaza, hostages out, and then we give humanitarian. They just said no, give our hostages in Gaza good treatment, the medicine they need, and decent food, and we'll of course we'll bring in the humanitarian aid for your civilians. Take care of our civilians, we take care of your civilians. Pretty even trade. We're asking to take care of 134 of our civilians, and we're saying we'll take care of 2.2 million of your civilians. It's not bad trade-off. 134 for 2.2 million.
Yeah.
They come out ahead on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
they don't care about their civilians.
No. Well, that was a good video this week. We got a lot of information out.
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to say?
No, that's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say it again. I am so happy to be home after fighting at the war here in Gaza, and happy to be back at work and doing God's work, which I was doing God's work when I was in the army, but now we're doing God's work in the ministry with your help. I'm your soldier.
Amen.
So amen to that. Absolutely. So I'm so blessed to be part of this. And so see you next week.
Yeah.
God bless.
Shabbat shalom.
Bye-bye.